All right, guys, we have a major shift in the Ripple case, and that could signal that we are getting a settlement soon. And the SEC is offering like a kind of an olive branch, although it's not really an olive branch, but they are lowering their demand. They no longer want $2 billion from Ripple. Now, they were never going to get that anyways, because that's a ridiculous demand. This is how it always goes. You ask for a ridiculous number, and then you get awarded a much less ridiculous number. But maybe the amount they want is still ridiculous. So they actually want $102 million now. Now, Ripple has to make a decision whether they just settle and pay the $102 million, which is still a decent chunk of money, but much less than $2 billion, or fight out in court and risk a higher penalty. This is for their institutional sales. So that's the news right now. So like right now, they could just take the $102 million and call it a day. But there's a caveat to this, because that means the entire case is over, and the SEC could actually go back and appeal the Ripple case. So it's like a kind of a catch-22, because they can't actually appeal the Ripple case until like Ripple essentially like decides to accept the settlement, or they fight this what's ever left of this case in court. So Ripple might actually want to think about that, because I have a feeling that like as time goes on, it's becoming harder and harder and harder for the SEC to actually appeal the case and actually win, because the other judicial kind of like judgments that have been handed down by various judges, like, you know, with the Coinbase stuff, with the Binance stuff, with the Debtbox stuff. Like, none of that stuff is actually going the SEC's way, as well as with the ETF stuff. So, and of course, the Ethereum ETF getting approved shows that Ethereum is not a security. So, you know, the thing is, like, if they want to repeal that Ripple is a security, now it's going to be much, much harder. So the more it drags on, the harder it actually becomes for the SEC to be a dick and try to repeal the overall case. So Ripple might not want to actually like accept it. They can fight the case, and they have a decent chance of winning, although they could lose and have to pay several $100 million, obviously. But if they drag it out, the SEC may not actually want to appeal the case. Like, I think like every month you drag it out, the attraction of the SEC just not appealing the Ripple case becomes greater and greater. So there's kind of like a catch-22 at that point. So, you know, that's a big decision on their part. But the SEC, I think, like, is seeing that they're not really going to get the $2 billion from any judge. So they're offering the $102.6 million. Now, this has happened before. This is not strange. Remember, like, they wanted, like, tens of millions from LBRY. They ended up getting, like, $500,000 or something. So, like, this is basically every single case. But it is a tough choice for Ripple. The SEC's original $2 billion penalty shocked the cryptocurrency community. Ripple countered with a $10 million offer, citing the SEC's past settlements that ranged from 0.6% to 1.8% of the defendant's revenue. Ripple also referred to the recent settlement with Terraform Labs, but the SEC kind of like shot that down. You can also see like their revenue right now, because it's somewhere like $10 million is somewhere between 0.6% and 1.8%. So essentially, like, it's somewhere between like 1.5 billion and $500 million in terms of revenue. Don't really know how much their costs are, but I think I heard like one employee say under anonymous conditions that they may not be profitable without selling the XRP. Don't really know if that's still true or not, but that doesn't really have any bearing to this right now. The SEC insists the $102.6 million settlement is necessary to prevent future misconduct in the crypto industry. It's still a pretty good amount, but I think the SEC spent more than $100 million on lawyers. I kind of want Ripple to fight this because if they get that amount down to like, you know, $30, $40 million, then the SEC is taking a huge loss on this case because of their lawyer costs. But of course, that means Ripple has to fight it longer. But once again, that does have its good points, like the SEC being less and less likely to actually appeal the entire case. They argue that Ripple's ongoing operations and refusal to agree to relief measures justify the penalty. Accepting the settlement could provide financial relief and show cooperation with the regulators, but XRP's status as a security would remain unclear, potential deterring institutional investors from affecting its market performance. I think regardless of what the settlement is, I think the stance will actually remain unclear in terms of institutional sales and ODL sales. But overall, it's like 5% of the penalty that they originally wanted. So there's a big incentive just to actually accept this offer. Rejecting the settlement could lead to a long and expensive court battle, which actually could cost more than $100 million. So you have to actually take that into consideration. With an uncertain outcome, a judge could impose a harsher penalty than the SEC's current offer, posing a significant risk for Ripple. And that is true. This scenario could have serious implications for Ripple's business and the broader cryptocurrency market. So that is their final offer for settlement, $102 million. It's a very tough choice for Ripple. I kind of want them to fight it, but I can also definitely understand if they don't want to fight it and just accept it. I don't really know if they accept it, if the price of the coin would actually go up. We'll just have to see about that. But we could actually have a final settlement date within a few weeks for the SEC and Ripple. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe, hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.